Reseller Clickbait Podcast, episode 102. The 102th, I think. It's the 100. It was the 101th, or the first, or the second, or whatever.
102th.
102. The 102th episode of the Reseller Clickbait Podcast. I'm Ken, SSKPromo. That is Cory from Grams and Pops Vintage. How you doing, Cory?
I'm still half asleep.
Still
half asleep, but we're here.
It's the same recording time every week.
I know, and I'm half asleep every week.
Man, it was a crazy week. All the days just seemed to blend together, and just I don't think I did anything like. I haven't watched like any content. I don't know what's going on out there as far as news in eBay or in reselling.
Accidentally published content on the wrong day yesterday because I didn't even know what day it was when we got up. So we came very close to publishing on a Saturday instead of a Sunday, our normal Sunday that we do. Because I lost track of days. I mean, it's just been an absolute blur here.
So I agree. I don't know. It was just an odd week. Probably the yard sales were good, man. There's signs everywhere, and there's community sales, and there's neighborhood sales, and that's about the only thing that I did. Go ahead.
I think eBay is the only thing that, well, people say there's a summer slowdown, but I think eBay is the only thing that slows down because everything else goes, like your sourcing picks up, all the garage sales are out there, the yard work that needs to be done picks up. Just all the summer projects, the vacations, the family time, like everything is tenfold more of a obligation than it is all winter long. It's a busy time of year.
Agreed. It is for sure. And it's been getting nicer out there. You said the yard work. We were talking before the show there. I'm winning the war of the weeds in my driveway right now. So I'm happy about that. Total vegetation killer. That's how I'm winning. And,
are we chemical or are we going like fire and brimstone? Chemical stuff. I do have a like a torch, and I've tried that where you go through and you torch the stuff and in the driveway. But every time when I should be out there like listing or cleaning up stuff or getting ready, I want to have a yard sale soon. I find myself out there with the. But I do have a relatable story about the torch thing. Is yours one of those big ones you hook to the propane tank?
Yeah.
Okay. I got in trouble with one of those about 5 years ago. It wasn't very long ago, 5-6 years ago. It was right before we moved to this house. We were out in our backyard at our old house, and we had one of those.
Did you burn down the house? Is that why you had to move?
No, but Teresa thought I was going to. So we had about a 6-foot tall wooden privacy fence.
Okay.
And I was outside working on the fence, and wasps came out of it and stung me. So I went back in the garage and I got the big torch and fired it up, and I went through all the fence posts and I killed all the wasps with the torch.
Okay. But
those old cedar fence posts are pretty dry, and they do catch a coal pretty quick. So Teresa yelled at me for that. So that's the last time I used that torch. I haven't done anything with it since.
That's fire and brimstone right there. I mean, was that just total revenge
that does
on the
clean
wasps?
The driveway.
Are you allergic to wasps or bees or bee stings?
I'm allergic to bumblebees, the big black and yellow ones.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm just allergic to pain. I don't like getting stung.
I can't even remember the last time I was stung by a bee. I'm not like a barefoot guy out in the yard, so I'm not getting stung in the foot like when you were a kid.
I remember vividly the last time I got stung by a bee.
Okay.
I was like 9, and me and my brothers were up playing on an old like shed. It was like an old hog building out in the pasture. Okay. It was just a building out in the middle of nowhere. We were up on the roof of it playing, trying to push each other off the roof because it was only the edge of the roof was only about 6 foot off the ground.
Okay.
So we would try and like play King of the Hill on the building.
Yeah.
And these bumblebees came out and started stinging, and one of them got me. That's when I found out I was allergic. Okay. I started just swelling up and throwing up, and I rolled off that roof, and my brothers took me to the house, and we went to the hospital, and the doctor said, don't get stung by those no more.
Yeah, don't. Cory, now I played King of the Hill. We talked about this. We just had a total opposite upbringing. Our childhoods were completely different. I mean, there was not a hog building within, I don't know how many
miles of my house. And
oh, they were close by. We had fun when we were kids, but we did try a little bit to kill each other from time to time.
Oh yeah, my brother and I, we would roughhouse constantly, wrestling. I don't know how many like bed frames, we would break. We'd get in trouble all the time for, picking the other guy up and slamming him down, on the bed, break the bed frame. And
we got our butts kicked really bad one time because me and my older brother were up in the middle of the night because, I don't know, we were idiots. We were really young. But
okay,
it was one of the times we were at the age where you were playing with fire. We had lighters.
Oh, yeah.
We were experimenting with fire. We decided the best place to do that was somewhere it was nice and dark and we wouldn't get caught, was under my younger brother's bed. So we crawled under his bed and we're playing with the lighters and we caught the underside of his bed on fire. It's like 2 a.m. So we're running to the kitchen getting like pans of water to crawl under the bed with and splash up on the bottom of the bed. Smoke detectors going off. My parents got up and whipped our butts. It was, they never let us forget that one. We got a good whipping for that one.
Oh, I would imagine so. Yeah, back in the day when you got a whooping for doing something, now you get like timeout. Get a timeout and sit
it worked
for a little bit. And
since that day, I have never crawled under a bed and lit it on fire again. Not once.
Hey, did you hear that? I usually silence my phone. I got a cha-ching.
I heard something.
What did I sell? Let's look right here live on the show. That's always great for the folks. Oh, it was a Cleveland Indians hat that I just bought at a sale. Paid $1 for it and sold for $16. So
there you go.
I'll take that. Now I will silence it. Yeah.
That is a rare sale. I hardly ever sell hats. I have plenty. I just hardly ever sell one.
I sold another hat. Well, somebody sent me an offer on a hat yesterday, and I accepted the offer. And then it wasn't one of those ones that you were going to get like automatically paid on. And I accepted the offer, and then I got a message from the person that said, "If you accept my offer, I will pay you tomorrow because I have to blah 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 get money or go to the bank or whatever, something like that." So
who's that guy on Popeye that will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today?
Wimpy. Yes, Wimpy. I will gladly pay you Tuesday.
Yeah, we don't need those kind of deals because he never paid, did he?
I don't know if he ever did. Did he ever get the hamburger? I don't know if that was a good Wimpy impersonation or not. I haven't heard Wimpy for a while, but we're going to say
who he was.
We're going to go if it was spot on. That my Wimpy is like, if you rewind this a little bit, close your eyes, you'll be like, oh man. So you got to do Popeye. Do your best Popeye.
Yeah, we won't do that.
So anyway, how did we wait? Now we're talking about weeds and bee stings and from the weeds in my driveway to anyway, just a week of reseller stuff, but I did everything right in reselling this week except for list properly. I hardly listed anything. I brought in a bunch of new stuff, but nothing. Not many things. I don't know if
I classify that as everything right.
What? What do you mean? Well, yeah. See, that was the most important part. Listing is kind of the most important part because you can buy all you want, but if it just sits out there in a garage in a pile,
we are very good at buying.
Yes. Oh, and now that the yard sale season is in full swing. That's
the season of plenty.
And I did, we've talked about, I started doing Whatnot, selling on Whatnot, and having fun with that. Jill and I doing shows on Whatnot, and Friday we did 2 shows like in one day. We were on a Foodie Friday. It was called Foodie Friday. It was a raid train.
I think I texted you. You were crazy that day.
Yeah, it was. So it was set up for that show. That was all food related items. Could actually be food, or we sold a lot of stuff that was just food related. Some shirts and some stuff. A bunch of plush, like
food branded shirts, or shirts you can eat.
No. Oh, there's a concept.
Edible clothing.
Food branded. I've seen some panties like that. In the the adult store. Is that what you call it? Wait, why am I going to the adult store and looking in the edible panty section?
I don't know. I think we just learned something about Santa Claus we didn't want to
know. No, okay. So I wanted to tell this story though. There was one sale that was fun. I had sent you a picture yesterday. Yeah. I go to this. Well, it was a sale that was there was an advertised sale, and I went to that. It was a moving sale, and bought some really cool stuff there. But right down the street, the folks were having another sale, and so I pull up, and as I'm walking up to the sale, there's this little girl. She's got lemonade for sale, and she's like, "Would you like to buy some lemonade?" Just a sweet little girl, and so I tell her. I said, yeah, I'll get some lemonade, but I'll catch you on the way out. She's like, okay. So I'm going through the sale and I'm looking at stuff. And then at the kind of the back of the sale, they had a table and there's this little boy that's like standing in a wagon. And his dad is like, and it's like, well, that's not safe at all. But the dad is standing right there by the table and he's just, his head's just in the phone the whole time. And the kid's like going back and forth. I walk up to the table and the little boy's like, they had like a bunch of like coffee mugs and glassware and stuff like that. And he just picks up a cup. He's like, hey, did you see this one? It's made out of plastic. And he was just all excited about that. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I hear him, another lady at the sale and he looks over at her and he's like, hi, my name is Matt, M-A-T. And she's like, oh, that's cool. You can spell. And then like another, I think it was like the grandma or something was there. And she's like, oh, your name's Matt. That's good. You can spell. And the grandma says that he's like, just finished preschool. So there's like the age context. He says he just finished preschool and, learning how to spell stuff and things like that. So
I don't like those sales. I don't care for other people's children. I think they should have to keep them inside at the garage sale.
Well, he was a kid. The two kids were like cute little kids, but
there's no such thing.
Cory doesn't like grown-ups. Cory doesn't like.
I like my kids and my grandkids, but I don't like other people's kids. Like, just keep them inside. This is grown-up stuff out here.
So the kid's still standing in the wagon. Dad's not paying attention. The kid's like, Dad, will you give me a ride? Dad, will you give me a ride? Dad, will you give me a ride? And the dad says, he's like, just looking at him, he's like, yeah, hold on. I'll give you a ride in a minute. And the kid says, oh, well, shit. And
maybe I would have liked that kid.
Yeah, I think he was right up your alley.
Like we'd have got along.
But it's like, so now I'm going to go now. Okay. I don't like to be judgmental, but a person's going to be judgmental if you're going to be buying a food item or lemonade or something at a sale, you kind of look and see, what kind of items, what the cleanliness. I always picture the lemonade at the stand at the sales. Yeah. Like in the movie Vacation, like National Lampoon's Vacation with Chevy Chase. Yeah. Where the girl's like got her hand in the Kool-Aid stirring it up. That's how I think that all these yard sales are. But I like to buy the lemonade, especially. Well, okay, there are certain times I'll buy the lemonade and certain times I will not. First of all, if you go to the sale and the kid doesn't say anything at all, doesn't ask you if you want lemonade, they just just sits there and they don't say anything or do whatever. Because I like to interact with the kids too, because that's fun. Because that can be a good way to negotiate deals. If you get there to the sale and you're having fun with the kid right away, or you're buying stuff from kids, the parents are a little more likely to loosen up their pricing.
We used to buy from the kids just because I like the entrepreneur spirit. So I'm okay nurturing that if they're in there doing that. But I've never had a good thing of lemonade from a kid at a garage sale. Now I just don't want anything to do with it. Like, just
very
keep
seldom do it.
And they ask, and I'm like, no, I don't want that.
Very seldom do I drink the lemonade. It's why I buy it on the way out, and then I can just dump it out by the car, and they don't feel bad. And I don't have to carry around a cup of lemonade while I'm looking at stuff. So anyway, If the kid doesn't say anything, I'm not going to buy the lemonade.
No.
Or it's the kids that the whole time you're at the sale, lemonade for sale, lemonade. And they're just like yelling the whole time. It's like, come on now, you're driving me nuts. But so this little girl, so I'm looking around and I'm thinking, okay, I really don't want to buy this lemonade at this place from this little girl. But so I'm going to try to sneak past her. Right. And leave, which might be horrible. But so I see another vehicle pull up and I think, cool, okay, this person's going to walk up to the sale and then I'm going to be able to take the attention away. So I'm like standing like at the end of the driveway there, just kind of like I'm looking at something, waiting for this lady to walk up. Well, it turns out the lady that walks up is like her mother, and she's got like a big bag of ice and to pour into the lemonade. So the little girl, this story's getting long, isn't it? The little girl, the mom asked the girl if she sold any lemonade, and she's like, no, but there's a guy here that said he would buy some when he was leaving. Oh, and there he is standing. He's standing right over there. So now I can't do anything about it. So now I turn around. I'm like, well, how much is your lemonade? Oh, it's whatever you want to give me for it. It's and the mom says it's on donation. I was like, okay. I always goof with the kids. I either ask them one of two things. I always ask them if they accept Bitcoin or some sort of cryptocurrency, which is
you're
really
gonna be surprised because they will someday.
Yeah, when I'm going to whip out their phone. No, but I do Vendu, or not Vendu. What's Vendu? They're the cross lister lemonade. That's not what. What is the one called?
Venmo.
Venmo, that's it.
Venmo, yeah.
Shout out to Deanna, though, over there at Vendu.
Great payment processing platform.
Yeah, one of them one day is going to whip out their phone and they're going to have like Venmo. So the girl says, but I told her now, if I buy your lemonade, you're not going to save this money for like a college fund or anything, right? You're going to go out and blow it on toys and candy and stuff. And she like gets all excited and her mom goes, no, they're going to camp this summer. They're going to go to summer camp. And that's what they're saving the money for. And the girl looks at the mom and she's like, well, hold on. I think that we should discuss this because maybe I might want to blow some of it on toys and candy. And now the mom's looking at me like, what are you doing? So I gave her a buck.
Sales. We have the exact same rules for kids at garage sales as we do for dogs at garage sales. If the dog is noisy, you don't go pet it. Like if the dog is barking, you just leave it alone. Yes. If the kid's at a lemonade stand barking for sales, you leave them alone. You stay away from them.
But hey, that's a good.
You also don't walk up to the quiet ones without saying something. So you leave those alone too. You have to have a natural interaction, or you just stay away from them.
So I bought the lemonade, and so rather than getting a cup of lemonade from the girl that was, with the fresh ice in it and ready to go, she has this cup that's already sitting there. She's already like pre-filled a cup of lemonade to give to somebody.
The nice warm lemonade.
She's sitting under this great big tree, and so I give her the money, and she was going to camp. She's going to 4-H camp, and she was all excited because this was her first year. She's in third grade, and you can't go until you're in third grade. And she was going to get to stay at the camp. She's going to get to stay at the camp for one night all week. So we get to stay overnight, one night all week. I was like, oh, okay, that's a long time frame. She maths as well as I do. So I get my cup of lemonade from the girl, and I had to send a picture of it to Cory. I'm going to throw it up on the screen here. And this was my cup of lemonade. Notice the arrows on the picture. Yes, it was crunchy style. It had extra pulp in it. She must have, but I don't know. Now there's stuff floating in the cup. There's stuff on the sides of the cup. And
some cottonwood tree cotton.
It's like, and the mother poured the ice in, and then she walked away, and no monitoring of like, horrible, you should give this guy a fresh. Oh, it was terrible. And the dad never looked up from his phone the whole time. I think grandma was the one running the sale. Oh, one more lemonade story though from the weekend. I was at another sale, and And this girl was in the garage, and she's set up like in the garage, not out front. But she's got lemonade, and she asked this older guy if he wanted some lemonade. And he says, "Well, how much is your lemonade?" And she says, $5.
Holy!
It's fine. And he's like, he's like, $5. He's like, "Do you have a gun?" And she says, "No." And he's like, "Then how are you out here robbing people like this?" Which,
nice.
got a big laugh from everybody. I turned around and laughed. And then the parents were trying to tell her, "You can't sell lemonade for $5 a glass." She's like, "Well, why not?" And there's like, "Well, that's too much. You got to lower the price." Oh,
well,
$3.
Maybe she could pull it off.
She said, "Well, I don't know." She wanted $3, and they're like, "No, you sell lemonade, for like 50 cents or $1. And she wasn't having it. She kind of got quiet, and you could see the wheels turning about, man, if I'm only selling this at 50 cents or $1,
she's been to McDonald's. She knows it's like $8 a drink now. Yeah. She's no fool.
It's ridiculous out there trying to go. Well, that's because they have to pay a McDonald's employee like $15, $18 an hour to work. It's like, how much do you think that the lemonade's going to be, or the hamburger, or the fries?
If they don't have to pay them that much.
Well, they don't have to, but.
Well, unless they're in California, but that's not even the same country. That don't count. But we probably shouldn't go down that road. We're going to get ourselves in trouble.
We've just offended all of our West Coast viewers. So anyway, that was my lemonade story. I just thought that was funny that it was crunchy style lemonade in the end, and
crunchy
the one
style
little
like peanut butter.
Preschool kids cussing out his dad for
that kid. I think we would have been okay with. We like that kind of kid. Speak your mind, Matt.
Yeah.
M-A-T.
Shout out to Matt.
Only one T on Matt.
Shout out to one T, Matt. That's
if you're watching today, Matt.
So, do you find anything good? Anything good at the sales or anything?
That's the thing. I don't know
in your area.
Like, I feel like we did, but I don't know for sure. It's been such a busy, like, net bouncing from one thing to the next all week that I know we filled the car up probably twice this weekend total, and I couldn't tell you 5 of the things we bought. It's just been putting in the work, and it's just been completely busy. We did start sorting that estate sale we bought out. We started sorting that out, and we kind of.
Are you finding anything good?
Yeah, it's very slim. Like less than 10% of what's on the trailer is worth listing, but the 10% that is worth listing has been pretty decent. We're through just I would say, very, very small percent, 5% of the trailer we've unloaded. And I think we have about $900 listed or drafted.
Okay.
So we're already over what we paid for the unit, and we're not into it very far. But we've got way more than that in a pile that we're not going to list. So I think we decided to commit ourselves to a $1 everything's got to go garage sale this weekend, like this coming weekend.
Okay.
And we're not prepared for that.
We'll be able to check in, see if you actually did that.
I think I might set up a GoPro.
I should write a note. That would be cool. Get some footage of your own yard sale.
Yep.
I'm going to write a note here. Corey's yard sale.
I'm going to sell $5 friggin' lemonade too.
Yeah. Just have Teresa stand out there and yell at everybody, lemonade, lemonade.
You can't sell that for $5.
Just bring some axes from the axe and place them on the table. Oh, yeah.
Get him in the wagon doing stunts.
No, thank you. Well, shit.
Well, shit. I feel it, Matt. I feel that. So, no, as far as the shopping, I know we went to 3 different community sales this week, but it was just hard shopping. Like, there was no home runs out there. Like, you really had to work for every single thing we found. And no just fantastic killer deals. We made our money. We still filled the car, but man, we really had to work for it this week.
What was the best item you got? What's the best item you found this weekend, or that you think is going to be the best item?
Well, I'm pretty sure the best thing we bought, and I could be completely wrong because I don't remember half the stuff we bought, but in my mind, the most memorable one right now is we bought about $200 worth of Bath and Body Works at an estate sale.
Okay.
We went to this same estate sale. This is the second time they're having the same estate sale. So they went through all 3 days, their normal price, quarter price and 50% off. And then they waited 2 weeks and then they started the wholesale over and doing the same thing again. Okay. So we bought Bath & Body Works there the first time around. And so then we went back yesterday and they had the same exact stuff that we had already bought. And we bought everything last time. Okay. We bought all they had, but they had the exact same bottles that we bought the last time put out again. We were like, what the heck? Where'd they get these? Why weren't they out last time?
Yeah. So is this an actual like estate sale, or is this one of these like perpetual yard sales where just
no, it's an estate sale. The problem is it's a very high end estate sale. It's like a $2 million house probably. Okay. And they have the Swarovski crystal, whatever that stuff is. They have like hundreds and hundreds of pieces of that crystal all over the house. Okay. And on their quarter, like their 25% off and their 50% off days, they're not discounting crystal. Crystal is the price it is, and people are going to pay for it, or they're going to keep having the sale.
Or they're going to.
So they just keep having the sale.
Or they're just going to keep the crystal is what's going to happen in the end.
They're going to end up keeping the crystal.
So and they don't really want to.
It's a tough sale. It's one of them where you come up and they tell you have to take your shoes off before you go in the house.
Like really?
Which I already don't like.
Go back home.
Yeah, but we went in, and it was a good thing we did because we found the Bath & Body Works again, which they didn't have much value on it. I mean, they had like $3 a bottle on it. When we bought those last time, we bought 4 bottles of the same lotion. Okay. And we were selling those for $39.99, and we sold out of them within 2 weeks.
Oh, really? Okay.
And we just bought 32 more of those bottles.
Oh, sweet.
Plus
probably another. That sounds like a lot of money.
Probably another 50 bottles of some other discontinued Bath & Body Works. So I think we probably got a couple grand worth of Bath & Body Works.
Yeah.
For
a couple $100, you said. 180 bucks. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, that's a good pickup.
That's the one I remember the most. Everything else just kind of blurs together, but
yeah.
Just we had to take 4 trips in and out of there to get it all. I mean, they had it stuffed in everything. We got to the checkout and she's like, "Did you get it all?" And I said, "I think so." She said, "You check under the sink?" I was like, "Oh, I guess I didn't." So we went back, got another basket out of under the sink full of it.
Oh, really? Oh, man. Yeah. See, that's not the most exciting. Well, I guess it's exciting if you're selling it that quick at that high of a profit margin.
It's selling pretty quickly. I mean, we were selling about 2 a week since we bought it at $40 a bottle. And now we have a whole bunch. I mean, we have $1,100 to $1,200 worth of just that one type. So
are they all discontinued scents or flavors or whatever they are?
They're all the same. Like there's lotion and hand cream and face cream, but they're all the same, the same discontinued scent.
Okay.
Like free share or something like that. I don't know.
That'd be a good time to test out. I think we said on one of the other shows, you're looking for like some sort of like a multi-quantity thing that's easy to list, that you can do some testing and some like to see how different photos or different descriptions or the way you sell them.
Well, even just shipping, like build regular 2 identical listings, but promote one and don't promote one. Or or do one with free shipping versus flat rate versus calculated, or like there's a lot of different tests that'd be cool to do if you had enough quantity of something to do a good split test. So we might have that now. We just got to decide what we want to test.
I did that with one item, and it was almost a 50-50 the way that it worked. And it wasn't with the promotion part, but it was with, some of the shipping and free shipping and regular shipping or calculated shipping. And, and it seemed like I don't understand why some people would buy it one way when it's going to be cheaper the other way, but how they're finding the listings.
Oh, you had the listing promoted with the soaps where you had 2 in a bundle versus 3 in a bundle or something like that.
That was a different sort of a test that I was doing, and people were buying up the singles, and that worked out well for me because I got full price out of those. Expensive. And
I'm going to do an AI background test. We'll just put a bottle of lotion on a white background, then we'll put a bottle of lotion with like a Joe Dirt background. We'll see which one sells better.
See, I don't know. It's just kooky how people find stuff or
I'm glad we didn't get pulled over or anything the other day, because we had a whole trunk full of lotion. Like everything back there was like moisturizer, and there's like a couple hundred bottles of moisturizer in the trunk.
Can you open
the
your
drug
trunk,
dog
sir?
would have been going nuts trying to figure out what was happening back there.
they're trying to mask the scent of something else with all their lotion in the back. Even when those bottles are sealed up, it's
You still
like
smell
the soap and stuff. Yeah, you still smell it. Sometimes I'll go out in the garage if it's been like a little bit warm, and it's like I have this soap, and it's like my eyes will get watery or whatever. Not that I'm like allergic to the.
We use the Ziploc bags. Everything that we have that's smelly and everything that we have that can absorb smell. Like we put clothing, we bag them and Ziploc bag them shut so they can't pick up smells. But also like the lotions and bath body work, perfumes and stuff like that. We put those in a Ziploc bag before we put them in anything. Yeah. Just so that we don't have to smell it all day working in the shop.
Smell it, or if something opens up, or it's. I had a bunch of there's a hair care Mark Anthony or Mark something, a bunch of like anti-frizz hair stuff and things like that I had bought a big lot of. Yeah, and I had to keep that all sealed up because it was potent.
Smells are something you do have to worry about in your inventory system. Because
oh, okay. I thought you meant in life. I thought you were going down like a life.
In life too. This is true.
Trying to think of what's. Hey, did you know that my buddy John has won in his golf league 5 weeks in a row?
No, I did not know this. Congratulations, John.
That has nothing to do with anything. I just told him we were hanging out as a buddy of mine. I've been, known since like grade school. And one of our other buddies, his oldest daughter, graduated from high school this week. So we drove up about an hour and a half away and hung out, and that was cool. And we got to catch up. But he just kept going on about winning 5 weeks in a row. I said, yeah. He's like, man, tell everybody. I was like, okay, I'll mention it. What the hell?
So you're using this as a chance to get an extra dig in on John.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, John, congratulations on 5 weeks in a row in a game that's not even a sport.
Golf is not as well, man. Now you're going to really ruffle feathers. You've offended California, and you've offended the golfers.
Well, so sorry, guys. I've seen 2 skinny guys ever play golf. The rest of them are big, overweight guys. I'm sorry, it's not a sport. It's like bowling.
Oh man, we're canceled.
Your physical fitness isn't even an issue.
Cory, what few people were watching are now gone. So next week, the 103rd.
You know what they call that, Ken?
What's that?
They call that freedom. Now we can say whatever we want because we have no one left to offend.
Well, this is true. Now we'll just come up with new stuff and win all the people back that are our audience. Anyway,
we need the overweight fellas that don't play golf. That's who we need.
Yeah. The ones that actually like win it. Well, my buddy John, he's
still got Matt.
Big overweight. That's right. One team Matt.
And he's got a potty mouth, so you don't care what we say.
I was trying to think. I think the best item that I found at the sales, or at least a potential so far, is a like a longboard skateboard.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still looking. I don't know. The thing is like, I don't know. It's 3-4 foot long, something like that. I'm still looking up, and the way that it's kind of like cut, it's a different sort of a shape. And at first I started looking at them. I don't know. I think it could be up $300 even up in that range, 200 plus.
I remember when I saw the first one. It was years and years ago. We saw our first longboard, and we owned a small metal fab shop when we lived in our old house, and we had a big CNC plasma table, so we could cut out pretty much anything. Yeah. And we had a guy that used to come to us to cut out their mold templates for building those longboards for a company called Bum Longboards. That was the first time I'd ever seen one. I was like, they look. It's something in between a skateboard and a surfboard. They're huge.
Yeah.
Like they're crazy looking. Looks like you should be able to carry your groceries on the front of them, but apparently they don't.
Yeah, you probably could. Yeah, this thing is good size and seemed to be in pretty good shape. It's definitely an older board. But I picked that. So I think that was probably the most the potential value. Well, I did get, I went to this sale. Oh, here's another yard sale story. I went to this other sale that's a sale they have every year. It's the weekend after Memorial Day or whatever. And it to help support like some missions at the church or whatever.
Church sale.
But it's actually in a neighborhood, but it spans across like 3 or 4. She must, get permission from the neighbors because it spans across like 3 or 4 yards and driveways and really good, pretty good organized. They try to group up all the like items, and they have it from. So their time is like sunrise to sunset. Starts the Thursday after Memorial Day and goes for the weekend. Sunrise to sunset. So I hauled my butt out of bed early and I got over there, and
sunrise is pretty early right now.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was before 7 that I left the house to get over there, and it's not too far away from me, like 5 minutes or something. So, but I get there, and there's like nobody there. Well, the people that were running the sale were there, and I think one other lady was already looking around at stuff, and she was looking at things that I wasn't interested in, and I may have very well been the first person there. So I had full run, like almost first peek at everything. And I picked up electronics, like a bunch of electronic stuff, a Sony Handycam, a Sony Discman, some of the old like tape recorders, some cameras, like film Sony cameras, and the prices were, Sony Discman like $1. Cameras, the video cameras, $5, $2, $3. I'm buying all of this stuff for. So I'm now grabbing all this stuff up. I'm taking over and I'm making a pile. And the lady that was running the sale, or that was kind of in charge of it, she had priced everything. Well, the lady that was taking the money was, she was almost perturbed at how low the prices were.
They were not in agreement, huh?
$1 for this thing? That's ridiculous. Those things go for such and such. And this lady that was running, she didn't look like she like knew, a lot about pricing or eBay or whatever. She was just, I bought some Mr. Christmas, some old, like musical bells, just a number of things in my first pile. Well, now people started to show up at the sale. So I wanted to keep people from looking through my pile. So I went over and paid for all of that. I think the first time through was like $26 I had to go to the car and get a big IKEA bag. Nice. And I had that filled up over the top, and then, carried a couple of items as well, put that in the car. And then I go back, and I usually don't look a lot at clothing stuff at sales, but they had all the clothing racks, a bunch of racks, and she had separated it by size, here's smalls, mediums, larges.
That's
no
handy.
Pricing on anything. I asked her, the lady come around, I said, how much are your clothing? And she's like, I forgot to put the bags and stuff out. It's fill a bag for $5 or everything's $1 a piece. And
she was trying to get rid of stuff.
Yeah, she was. But the first thing that I'm looking at is, I was holding it when I had to ask her, a Carhartt coat. Carhartt coat, really nice shape, good size, extra large size, pretty much, we'll say perfect worn condition. With no holes, no stains, no anything like that. So it's going to be like $1. Now you could really fit a Carhartt coat. Like she had like Walmart bags, the Walmart gray sacks that they have.
For $1, I'll get it in there.
You're only got, well,
you wouldn't need
everything in the book was, like $5. So, but now I'm starting to look around, and on another rack, on the medium rack, I find 2 more Carhartt coats. Then just going through, I'm finding vintage for $1. I'm finding vintage. I
wouldn't usually buy a medium, but for $1, I'm taking it home.
yeah. Two mediums and then that extra large. And then I got a bag and I was filling some Pierre Cardin shirts, vintage t-shirts. That's like a high-end, a nicer brand. I don't say it's super high-end, but it's a nicer
Pierre
brand.
Cardin.
Yeah.
Sounds French. I'd probably left it.
Vintage Looney Tunes, sweatshirts, t-shirts, and stuff. So I was able to stuff about seven shirts in a Walmart bag, plus the 3 coats. And so I don't know. I haven't even looked up any of the clothing. It was just like, oh man, this is nice stuff. So I bought
the Looney Tunes stuff can be good sometimes.
Yeah. And, NFL, like say a Tasmanian Devil, Dallas Cowboys, vintage from the 90s,
Okay. So it probably depends on how good that team's doing, how good that shirt's going to be.
Exactly. Yeah. The Cowboys,
I don't know how many home runs they got last year.
How many what they got?
Home runs. Dang sports ball people.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys, they were knocking it out of the park all year last year.
That's good. That's good.
But, so that was a great sale. That was one that I actually got out of bed for, made sure that I was there early. And that was another sale where our local, we have one of these guys that I see him at like every sale, and he's just this, I don't know.
Should we ask Matt for a word?
He's just a big old chooch, as Jill, if she's listening, she's just this chooch. And
like a train conductor.
Guy, and he's just an asshole, really, I guess, to put it mildly. Because I see him at all the sales, and he's all the time, he's like, wants to lowball everything. He gets mad at the people having the sales when they won't take his offer, which is always ridiculous. And he's always there, the sale the people just lifted the garage door and he wants half price on everything.
Well, so do I. But so I'm not gonna demand it.
Well, yeah, or get mad at the people, or he'll literally like throw stuff back on the table. Like if they won't take his deal, he'll just like pitch it back. Oh yeah, you're going to be packing that one up. That price is ridiculous. You're going to be putting that one back in the garage
when you're
done. Yeah, exactly. So this sale was set up across like 3 or 4 yards, and kind of out to the street. And it's not really. You can just look. You're not going to pull into the driveway at this place. You're going to park on the street. There's plenty of street parking there. It's kind of a quiet street. And, here it comes. I hear his loud car come. And he just he basically pulls right up into one of the drives right in the middle of the sale. There's literally.
I already hate this guy.
He stops before, he runs into all this stuff. And there's stuff in the side yard on either side of him. And he gets out of the car and he goes around, and he's just a.
If you park in the driveway in a garage sale and you get out of that vehicle and you're not with a walker or a cane, I just want to shake the hell out of you. That drives me crazy.
I will park in the driveway if it's like if somebody's having a yard sale and there's stuff in the driveway and in the yard, I'm not going to pull in the drive.
No.
But if they've got, a wide driveway and maybe the sale was back at the back, like in the garage or whatever, hell yeah, I'm going to pull in the driveway. Because if all the spots on the street are taken up, or every single time I go to a yard sale, when I hear the like GPS, if I'm GPS, it's always on the opposite side of the street. It's like, it's never the convenient where you can just, pull up right and park. It's
why?
Why is that?
That's karma. You pulled in a driveway, and that's karma. Stop that. Park on the road with everybody else.
Sometimes but I'm not going to pull up in a driveway in the middle of somebody's sale. If there's products around you on either side, I'm not pulling into your drive or pull up.
Even parking in front of the driveway. If they have a garage sale and you park in front of their driveway, that's just wrong.
Oh, I will do that. I would do that as well. If the street is if it's one of those streets that has, some streets, they don't have driveways. It's mostly all street parking. Or if
you better do something really good this year. You're going to rip the backside out of your Santa suit because karma's after you parking in driveways.
No, I will park across the driveway for sure.
That's one of my pet peeves.
Which is kind of illegal. You're not necessarily supposed to, because it doesn't allow for emergency access or whatever to a drive. But yeah, but I'm not inconsiderate about it. Now,
yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
I won't pull across somebody else.
Here's how I look at it.
Okay.
When I'm having a garage sale, if it was me having a garage sale,
yes,
my driveway is my sales window to the world. If you park in front of it, you're blocking my sales window. you're also blocking the entrance for my customers by parking there. So I already hate you. And when you walk up, everything's double.
I've never had an issue with anybody saying or looking at me.
It's because people are polite.
Well, they are, and I'm polite too, Corey. I'm about as polite.
You're a
guy
driveway
as you
parker.
get.
You're passive aggressively polite. That doesn't even count anymore. We got issues now.
There's just
you have
another
a character flaw, sir.
Another difference between us. Yeah, I don't mind parking and drive, but this guy, I mean, he literally pulled in the middle of the sale, got out, did his whole thing. But it was a great sale, and there was lots of other sales in that neighborhood because people know that they do this sale every year, and so all the other people in the neighborhood have started having sales. We have some sales that happen every year like that too, but they're usually not that good. Like they're the ones that have them every year usually have the same stuff every year because it's all eBay price and above. Yeah, no, this place was blowing stuff out. They were making and every year that I go, I pick up great stuff.
So what did you call that guy? A chooch?
A chooch, yeah.
A chooch? What do you call a lady that's the chooch? Is it a choochette? Because we had one of them.
Well, usually Karen.
Karen. just Chooch and Karen.
No, the Chooch and the Karen are different, but yeah.
We went to a second estate sale. It was just yesterday when we were on our way to go meet up with some of her family. We stopped at an estate sale quick, and we had this lady. She was interested in a dresser that was in one of the bedrooms.
Okay.
Which we're not buying furniture. We're not interested in the dresser. We don't care.
Yeah.
But once she decided she was interested, she was calling someone to talk to them about it, whether they wanted it or if they'd come pick it up or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no one else was allowed to go in that room of the house while she was trying to make the deal on that dresser. Like she stood in the doorway and like boxed people out with her elbows, and she was on the phone and she was like moving to keep people out of you weren't even allowed in the room. We were like, we don't want your dresser. Like, I don't care about the dresser. I want to go see what's in the room. She wouldn't let anybody in the room. Like she was aggressively, no one was going in that room until she had satisfied her deal on that dresser. It was the first estate sale or garage sale I'd ever been to where Teresa came up to me and said, if we don't leave, I'm going to hurt her. So we left the estate sale.
That's
she was aggressive.
That's not really. Yeah, that's more. I don't even know if that's Karen-y or is Karen-y a word?
Well, Teresa shared a few words with me about who she might be, but even one T Matt won't say those.
That's. Oh, that's I know a lot of times at those types of sales. Well, and then you can't pick up a dresser and hold it. But if you think you want it, at least talk to the estate sale people and say, hey, can you, put a hold until I make this contact?
Well, they usually, you just go up front and they give you a sold sticker and you go put it on the dresser at the ones here.
Yeah.
They just give you a sold sticker to put on it and it's sold and you come pick it up whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
But that way you're not trying to lug a dresser through the house. But she was she was
throwing elbows in the room.
An NBA star in there. She was boxing out. There was no getting in that room. She wasn't going to let it happen. I've never ran into that before. Like she was just crazy.
Neither. I've seen some aggressive people at the sales. So people that will stand right next to you and reach over you. Like you're obviously looking at it. They'll look over you and they'll take or they'll reach across the table and take something, in front of you that you're kind of, either looking at or showing some interest in.
I've only said one thing. I've only ever confronted somebody once for doing something like that, but she was beyond rude. Like she was moving you out of the way to take the stuff out of your hands and take the stuff off the table. So I hollered at one lady. That's the only time I've ever had, but we've had that happen before. They just weren't as aggressive as that lady. Like some people are really rude. When they decide they want something, they have no self-awareness.
Well, the video game guys, I had that once where I had to say something. I got to the sale first and there was all this video game stuff and I was actively looking through it. And this guy come up and he's trying to reach in front of me. He's trying to take stuff. He's he's, rubbernecking over into the video games that I'm flipping through to see what titles that I'm going to, and I stood a head taller than the guy anyway. And finally I just looked over at him and I said, I'm looking at this stuff. I'll be done in a minute.
Yeah.
And
they just have no self-awareness when they go in that
kind of
hunt mode.
Backed off for a second. And I finished looking through the stuff that I want. And I got some really good, Zelda GameCube games. They had all kinds of different video games from different platforms, PlayStation and stuff. I picked up a PlayStation console. This was last year in the sales.
Yeah. When video games were still good.
A number of things. Yeah, they still sell. They're just not
worse.
in that high,
It seems like there's two scales. Like people that are selling them are starting to think they're worth more than they are, but at the same time the values are dropping. So very rarely are we finding video games that are valued well.
Yeah. It's
like
hard
priced well for what they're worth, and
it's hard to beat those video game guys at the sales and stuff, because they're just running from sale to sale. And usually if I am buying video games, I even quit asking, because, well, number one, because I haven't even listed all the stuff that I have. But if I happen across video games, if I get to the sale first or earlier, I'm there, and I happen by them, but I quit asking, because normally, even at the sales that I find video games, I have usually bought enough other stuff at the sale that if I hadn't found the video games, I didn't need them in the first place. It's just, and anymore, it's almost like a bonus item that I find.
It's it seems like the last 3 or 4 times we bought video games, they're all in a tote out in the shop, because we get them home and we look them up, and they're just not worth listing individually. And neither of us really enjoy listing video games. Like, we're not excited about video games. We usually don't pick them up. Even at $1 a piece, we're like, eh. So we usually just leave them alone, unless I see some weird, crazy Japanese title that just looks different. It looks out of the ordinary. Then maybe, but usually it's what's left is just sports games and stuff like that. And so we leave them be for the most part. I would much rather pick up an old CB radio than a copy of Zelda. I just could care less about the video game stuff.
I don't know about that. If the copy of Zelda was there, but I'm not going to fight for it. I'm not going to look for it.
I'd be willing to bet the CB is worth more.
I would
enjoy listing it more.
Yeah. I find myself gravitating a lot at the sales towards the electronic stuff. It seems like anytime, like this stuff that I bought the other day, it sells quickly. If you're getting the right stuff. It sells pretty quickly. The cameras. Well, didn't you say here recently you're just what did you say? Something about one camera away?
Yeah, that's kind of our new motto when we pull up to a sale that looks like it's just all baby clothes or just not a good sale. That's kind of our motto to get ourselves out of the cars. It just takes one camera.
Yeah.
So go look.
The film cameras, the old digital cameras, that sort of stuff, it seems to move pretty quickly. And
we bought four cameras this weekend. So yeah, we're always on the lookout for stuff like that.
And I gravitate towards that electronics and I don't know, just toys, Christmas, holiday stuff. I seem to get a lot of holiday stuff.
Teresa likes that.
There's
a very few things that I'll go after for holiday stuff, because you find them at every sale. We could have bought 50 more Christmas trees for our Christmas tree lot idea this past weekend. It's just everybody sells Christmas and holiday stuff. But I do pick up certain things, but it's just a very few pieces.
Yeah. Well, like at that one sale where I picked up those vintage Mr. Christmas musical Christmas bells. I haven't even looked them up yet. It's just like, and it was they were $2. I'm not gonna pass up
anything Jimmy,
Mr. Christmas for $2.
The singing, dancing, Jimmy, whatever's. If they're cheap, we'll pick them up, because they're almost always corroded or something doesn't work.
Yeah.
But they'll still sell even if they don't work. A lot of times they'll sell for parts. So especially the vintage Jimmy ones, people do use them for parts to fix other ones. So they do still sell. What
I picked up when I showed it on my Ken versus 10 show. I was it last week or the week before? A Jimmy, like a Frosty the Snowman animated thing. It's like tall, and he has like he'll swing around these lighted snowflakes or whatever.
Okay.
Well, in my excitement, I didn't realize that the lighted snowflakes were broken off. He still sings. He tips his hat. He moves around and he shakes his hand, but there's no lighted LED snowflakes. It's like, oh man. But even at that, when people are selling for parts only, they're going for $40. If the thing was working, it's close to $100 item or even more, depending on the style.
Get him like a pasty with the tassels on it, so he has something to swing around.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I do have some LED snowflake lights. I thought maybe I should try to repair this, but then it's like the time and the effort, and
I think they'll sell the way they are.
I'll sell it for parts over. I'll sell it for parts only, and it'll be gone.
We've sold a lot of dancing Santas and stuff that just didn't dance anymore, but they still sang, or they would dance but not sing. Like something on them wasn't functional. We sold quite a few of them, and they move. Not as good as one that's fully functional, but they do move.
Yeah, and I always look for that. So I think I'm attracted because the Christmas stuff is usually the sparkliest place at the sale, and I go in and I'm like, "Ooh, sparkly!" And I
walk in and I'm like, "Ugh."
This place is all Christmas.
Where's the electronics?
So anyway, I think a busy week this week. Did a lot of resellery stuff, and except for listing. So that's my goal this week, is to kind of get myself back into doing the proper listing of all the items, because I wanted to do this goal. I keep trying to get to this goal where everything that I buy at the yard sales over the weekend gets listed before I'm allowed to go to more sales next week.
Oh, that would not work for us.
That never seems to work out. Either I get too much stuff or I get too busy.
We're processing that estate sale, which we're not even a tenth of the way into yet.
Yeah.
So everything we've bought in the last 2 or 3 weekends, we haven't listed anything new that we bought. It's just been all the old estate sale stuff. We're trying to process it in the order we brought it in, so we don't have a death pile.
Yeah.
But because we have so much to process, we're building a new death pile anyway. But that's what summer's about for us anyway. I mean, we do build the death pile. We got to stock up because it's such a long, miserable winter.
Your winters are like 8 months long, aren't they?
Yeah, it's pretty much like 13 months.
13 months out of the year, it's winter in South Dakota. Oh, my ideal place to live. Man,
it's perfect.
It got cold. It was cold. Man, Memorial Day was cold. I think we talked about that.
It was beautiful here.
And this week it was one of those days where you might have to turn the furnace on in the morning to get the chill off of the house, but then by the afternoon you're having to run an air conditioner, or evening.
We have we have just barely hit 80 degrees, maybe 1 or 2 days this summer so far. It's been such a mild, like it's just stayed kind of cloudy and windy, and it hasn't gotten real hot here yet. Yeah, we're supposed to, but we haven't yet.
What is it supposed to be? Yeah, it's supposed to be in the mid 80s tomorrow. Today about 75, mid 80s tomorrow. Yeah. But the cool thing was, and I think why it was such a good weekend for the sourcing and stuff, is finally a weekend that it didn't rain when it was, it's nice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And, I totally lost my train of thought.
Where'd you go, Ken?
What happened?
Oh, no.
Oh, it's always okay. I was talking about the weather. Yeah. Every, Sunday, Monday through Wednesday, it's nice. And then you get to Thursday, Friday, and it just wants to pour down rain and be cold and miserable. Yeah, and I think
we have
people still have the sales, but
we've got cornfield on 3 sides of us here. And usually at this time of the year, it's 6-8 inches tall with corn. They haven't even been in it to plant it yet. It's too wet.
Oh, too much. Yeah.
So
they're still not knee high by the 4th of July. They're going to miss that.
They're going to be knee high by harvest at this rate.
So anyway,
well, that's enough.
I think we're going to wrap this one up, episode 102. And everybody
Stay
have
cool,
a good
1T Matt.
Yeah, exactly. Because I hope you got that wagon ride. I hope your dad finally got his nose out of the phone. 1T Matt, and you.
I hope he didn't get the wagon ride. Stay disgruntled.
Yeah,
keep you frosty.
And so yeah, busy week this week. Ken vs. 10 show. Oh, I'm gonna have on friend Jack's Treasures. Jack's Treasures going to join me on Ken vs. 10 this week. So that's on Wednesday. That'll be cool. You got anything?
Looking forward to that.
Exciting coming up in
Grams and Pops world
this week? Yeah.
No, we don't even know what we're doing for content this week. We haven't even discussed it yet. It's been so busy. We may turn the GoPros on and record the garage sale this coming weekend, but that'll be a week or two out for content. If we actually make it to the garage sale and do one, we're going to try.
You have to.
We'll see.
You have to. Because I wrote that down as a note. See, right here, Cory's yard sale.
We said we were going to.
We're going to talk about that. But all the other notes that we said we were going to talk about, we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't talk about anything today.
Anyway.
That's the beauty of it.
That's right. All right, everybody have a great week. If you're here this far, we appreciate you hanging out with us, and we will catch you next week on the Reseller Clickbait Podcast.